We are moving on to bigger things. We want to remind you that we will be back in Dubai in December 2024 and back here in the States in 2025. Remember that many experts have already registered their interest as exhibitors and speakers. Secure your spot by visiting our booths or reaching out to Jatin or Shabit. Now, brace yourselves for our next keynote session called Beyond Borders Strategies for Success. Get ready to embark on a thrilling journey of global market domination where our speaker will unlock the secrets to conquering cultural barriers and seizing international opportunities like never before, active and powerful. Without further delay, give a warm welcome to founder and CEO, digital architect of Bezalel Digita. Ladies and gentlemen, Carlos E. Vargas to the stage.
Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Well, how many of you, this is your first conference after COVID? Let's say after COVID. Okay? Thank you for coming. Who's this the first conference here in Vegas? Woohoo! So, my name is Carlos Vargas. I am here with my beautiful wife. And one of the things that I find it very interesting is that my background started completely different than every other marketer or person in the marketing world. I started in the technology field, literally working all the problems for your computer, your phone, wiring cables. I don't know if anybody in the audience, any techies? No, I'm the only one? Oh, we have one. Perfect. And the reason that I share that is because probably your journey may be different than anybody else. But what we're going to be sharing, and I'm going to share a couple of strategies that I work with a lot of companies, is that to connect this year, you need to be personal. And I know that a lot of you may want to take some notes, and I am one of those that take pictures on every slide that comes. So I say, hey, why make it difficult? So if you want, you can scan the QR code, and you can actually get the slides so you don't have to worry, and we can actually have a chat. I don't want to have to just talk this way. I want to have a conversation. My first degree at 17, can anybody guess? No? Business? No. Pastorate, seminary. So I like feedback. So please, let's have a conversation. Let's have fun. Because here's what happened. I have two kids. And those two kids are my Joy and my wife's Joy. And we actually have a little doggy that she actually drives us crazy sometimes. And other times she gives us a lot of love. And as you can see, we love to interact and connect with others. My son, Lucas, actually, anytime that he posted a video, it's probably around 120,000 views on TikTok or anything. And I started figuring, like, what is making it different? Why when we share something or we interact in some way, it actually starts resonating with people? Similar, I don't know why, my lovely wife loves plane videos. So she takes videos of planes and she actually posts them and they start going up. I'm like, I don't know why. But again, I started thinking why. And the reason is because we started looking at the holistically and how we connect with people. And the topic for today is how we can be very personal. In 2024, what everybody and all the companies that I work with is how can we be more personal? You can have a different brand like we have. You can connect with them through a podcast. You can connect through videos. But the key is that you need to bring who you are. That little house in there brings back a lot of memories for me. Because at the year 1983, I got my first computer. In Puerto Rico, If probably you haven't been to Puerto Rico, you know that we don't speak any English. We speak Spanish. And computers were in English. So I had to start learning how to do everything. And then I started looking at like when I connect with people, it make a difference. So can I do that through a computer? So at that time there was no social media. There was a modem. I don't know if you guys could remember the noise that a modem. Who can remember the noise that a modem makes? So we have some OGs in here that actually love that noise. I find that yeah, I got it. I got you. So I mentioned this because it's extremely important that when we connect with our audience, that could be our personal brand or could be our business brand, we actually connect with other people. We go one to one. So what we're going to be talking about, as they mentioned, the topic for today is how can we have success with our brand and with everything that we do in 2024. And I have had the privilege to work with a lot of companies across the years, travel around the world, and learn and sit down and listen to what is working for other folks. And I bring out my own definition of success, and I just want to share the first portion of it. You have it on the slides. Is that I have to do everything that is in my power to be able to effectively and ethically connect and lead my customers to actually implement a solution that can be beneficial for their company. If I do that in my marketing, if I ethically help them to understand that I know that the solution that I have can help them, I have a moral obligation to help them and do that. And I do that from my core being. Sometimes my wife says, like, you're spending too much time. And I'm like, but it's who I am. And when our brands connect with the audience in that way, it make a big difference. And that's what we're gonna see that for this year, what everybody's looking is how can I be extremely personal to meet the needs of that audience. That's what it's called hyper personalization. And it's the idea that I'm gonna know exactly what that person wants and needs, and I'm gonna look for a way to bring it to them. Doesn't matter if I am not the creator, doesn't matter if it's my product, but if I have the capability to find out, I will do it. And the way that we're gonna do that is that we're gonna share a couple of strategies. And I had to sit down and think, I have 30 minutes. And for a lot of folks, they might think that 30 minutes is a long time to be up here. But then when you start thinking, 30 minutes is a very short amount of time for a lot of content. It's very difficult. So there may be more than this. But the first one is that I need to figure out a way that I can directly talk to my audience. And I need to do it in a way that is personal to them. Let me ask you a question. Can somebody tell me how do you like to be addressed? How do you, when somebody have a conversation with you, how do you like to be called? Somebody. First name, okay? Okay? Well, name, correct? Why is that? Because we love our name. But personalization is not just name, because that is very simple technique that I can take name, put it here, hi name. That's it. But when I can start learning the patterns and behaviors that someone will take action on, then I can start serving them in a better way. But when I work with different companies, they tell me, oh, we're already doing that. And it looks like something like this. They have a bunch of roads to a bunch of places and never to a direct conversation. That is what we need to have with our audience. We need to start having a one-to-one conversation with someone. And they need to feel that I am their best friend or that I understand their problem. Because if not, I'm just going to be very generic. You probably have Instagram. How many? TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, ICQ. Did I date it myself? What happened on a lot of those platforms? There's content that is very generic, and what do we do with the content that is generic? We just scroll it. We just let it go. We want to be able to, everything that we do, from our videos, our call to actions, connections, need to be very personal. And if you scan the QR code that was at the beginning, you saw that there's a very simple call to action. Do you want the slides? Yes. Here it is, what I promise. You see, doesn't have to be complicated. And for years, we have depended on platforms that give us data. And we're going to be talking about that tomorrow morning. But data is actually now going away because of a lot of privacy challenges. So, a great example, I'm not sure if the women in the room are aware of this, but how many know what the Nuset is? One hand? Well, I have a great secret for all you women. This is one of the best connections places for women so you can get everything new that is happening. From beauty, from makeup, from anything. And you know what they do? They just send one email. But that email list, can anybody guess how much it's worth because they have personalized it so much? Any guesses? No guesses? How many millions? Last year, it was valuated at $220 million. They don't give that detail, but here's what they have done. They have learned to personalize the content and delivery for what the audience wants. If a woman don't want to read about something within the same email, that content do not appear versus someone that actually want to read it. And it comes directly to the inbox. So there is no other distraction. And because they have specials and they have additional information, they are looking for it. That is the difference than a lot of the other techniques that because now they have cracked that they want to be direct, they actually get a huge open rate for their subscribers. And it's completely free. Number two is that you actually have to learn to control the message distribution. Like as mentioned, we have been dependent on Google or Facebook, on a lot of these other ad platforms. And if you probably are aware of, this ad costs keep what? Going down? What is happening? Going up, then we're losing tracking information. We cannot go personal to them because they don't want us to be offensive if you use a word or something else. But the interesting details are, again, I don't know, you can be in different industries, but there's some industries that can't leverage ad platforms. But if you start controlling your traffic, where you present your information, you can actually connect anywhere. And we have seen industry that we have worked with that actually present their ads directly to the user's inbox or phone without any issues. Number three that I have found across a lot of companies is that they tell me, oh, we are very consistent. Who posted every day in here for their customers? Once a week? Once a month? 2 times a day? 3? Engagement is not posting. A post can bring you engagement, but you need to be consistent. To give you an example, podcast is a very simple way to communicate your message. Do we agree? Okay. How often should you podcast? Let's say once a week, once a month. It doesn't matter. What matters is that your audience knows when you're going to come. If you're going to do a live, that it goes live or simulated live. To give you an example, tomorrow I'm going to be here, but my shows are going to come out this week. I already pre-recorded because I couldn't depend that I'm going to be on stage or not or where I'm going to be. So they need to be recorded to go out. But they already know that Tuesday at 3 o'clock p.m., my show goes live on every platform in the planet, even Rumble. If you don't know what Rumble is, check it. Another platform that you don't have the problems with Facebook or YouTube ads, and you get the money from the revenue. But creating the expectation, if you think the hyper-personalization theme is that you need to create the expectation so your customer is coming to you, not you going to them. That is a big change that when we do that, the customer is like, oh, wait, yeah, I need what you have, not the other way around that I am running after. Hey, can I get you what I have? Can I get you? No. I need to get them so I can work smart, not what? Hard, correct? And a lot of these concepts have been there for years. I remember probably 2010, there were ways that you can create a segment that you understand who you're dealing with. But the key is that we want to be able to understand our customers and that we can serve them in a better way. When I segment who I work with, I can now apply analytics. I can now provide them different solutions that they don't have. But if I don't create this correct segmentation, I cannot I cannot go to the next step. That is, I cannot target. Because there are going to be times that I need to say, I need that customer. I need everyone. And I was going to do it, and I said, I don't want to get in trouble. I was going to put everyone that is within 1 mile, that is staying within 1 mile of the Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas and put an ad. I don't know if you have seen that, but I know somebody that is a master at doing that. If you don't know who Grant Cardone is, look and study what he does. He actually developed the coolest techniques, and he has nothing to do with marketing. He's a real estate guy. But he learned how to create a segment within his team, work on these customers, and this other team, now go and target them for something else. Have you ever been in the GrowthCon? So one of the largest entrepreneur conferences in the world, they did it last year before COVID hit. We had the opportunity to be here. And there are about 20,000 people in the room working. And at the end of the conference, he wanted to target not the people that were in the room. He wanted to target everybody else that was not in the room. And you're going to say, wait. How he's going to target people that he doesn't have access? He took all the t-shirt inventory and he liquidated for $5. And he said, I want you. Then you think that you didn't have the money to have a shirt. Now, you have 20,000 people around the world taking pictures, taking selfies, talking about him. Now he had a new target market. Now I can go, did you see the people that have my shirt? And a bunch of people, yes, come to my webinar. Do you see my people? I have something new for you. So you see, he segmented, then he targeted. Then, when I ask a question, I think that we can play a little bit. So, favorite food, American food. I'm the only one? Burgers, American, yeah. Okay, I consider that Italian. Probably we're gonna get into a debate if pizza is Italian or Chinese or something else. Let's say a good Indian dish. Anybody? Curry? What's that? I love it. Oh, we got a winner. Okay. What am I doing? I'm trying to, one, read the room, get engagement. You see? Simple question. But at the same time, I cannot save it here because I'm doing a presentation. But you have systems that can store that information. And now I can write an email and say, you know, my wife, and actually was true last week, she did an awesome spaghetti with meat recipe. Do you think that I'm gonna catch people that love Italian food when I open an email with that story? Now I actually have information that I can use to actually hyper personalize that and then drive engagement. The reason, there you go. So that will get me to the next step. That is, I need to be able to analyze my data. Folks, you have a lot of data. I don't need you to go and buy or hire a data scientist. Does anybody know what ChatGPT is? Correct? All that you have to do, you drop the numbers and tell me what this means. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But this was one of my customers. She was having problems with engagement in one of her platforms. And she's like, I'm getting about 400 leads a month. And I'm like, good, so I'm doing my job. And she's like, but I don't know what to do with them. I was like, what have I been telling you? You need to engage them. You need to actually start offering them an additional service based on what you're offering. And she said, I don't know what to do. I said, okay, what would you like to learn about them so you can engage better with them? She actually is a world-renowned health coach, but she works specifically with, interestingly, 60 years and above. Because everybody's focusing on the younger, people that want to be buff, they want to have all the squares. I prefer to just go to the doctor and just spray paint it or something like that. But she's working with people that older, they may have a couple of sicknesses, and she actually helped them lose weight. So I said, you want to know how to engage them better. Why you don't ask them? Just ask them so we can analyze the data. And she said, what can I ask them? I'm like, tell them when they're in Facebook, if that's the platform that they're using. A simple question like I asked, what is your favorite food? People love quizzes. People love interaction. Why? Because we're alone, in our room, on our phone, not doing anything else with anybody else. So when we actually bring this data, we can connect and do a better job at connecting with them. So this will help you build your audience. And when you build your audience, you want to actually build a tribe of raving fans. And I think that the next question probably will include all of us, and you're going to see the example. So, what is football? Okay, who is from the US? There we go. So a lot of people talk about football for that. My wife, she know football for that. She's from Brazil. I'm from Puerto Rico. I don't care about any of it. We don't have football at all. We have baseball. But here in the States is the little ball. But if you want to catch an audience and you want to place an ad, which one is cheaper to advertise in the World Cup or the Super Bowl? The World Cup or Super Bowl? Okay, so that's true. It's 1.18 for 30 seconds. But if I'm trying to reach people that like football, American football, or that they are from the US, I may not get the correct audience. So I may waste my money by going that. I may have to pay more. So one of the reasons that I want to share with you so you can also understand with your audience and with your customers is that sometimes it's not how cheap it can be produced or delivered, but if it's to the right audience so you can actually get them correctly. Privacy laws are changing, so we need to be aware of that. So we need to, when we hyper personalize, that's why we're having so many trouble with the ad platforms, because now they cannot share all that information. But I need to then, with everything that I do, try to integrate everything that I'm talking about so I can make it easier. So here's what I want to share with you. There's a 7-11-4 rule. I need to have at least 7 hours of interaction with a customer before they can actually make a decision. I did not invent this. I wish that I could, but this is studies coming from Google, seeing in their platform what is happening. So when we deliver content, podcasts, engagement, posts, groups, communities, anything that we do, you want to check that rule. And you have it on the slide so you can go through it. And at the end of the day, we actually want to also, one of the last things for engagement, we want to create content, solutions, offers that can be found anywhere else so our audience or your customer's audience can find it and it's only available to them. They cannot find it anywhere else. There's content that I have that is not available outside. I post every day, I post every week, there's videos, there's topics, there's blog posts, there's everything. But there's content that is not out. It's my VIP content for my audience, for the specific customers. And I cannot miss GenAI because it's one of the tools that will help you define and strategize. Because I don't know if you have more than 24 hours a day that you don't sleep, but before I used to spend hours trying to craft the good email or the good copy or understanding the customer. But now I can actually go and leverage these tools to help me address the gaps that I have as a professional, as an architect, as a marketer, and then be able to build it so I can deliver great results. So how can I put all these things together? You probably want to look into how to create a newsletter. And I'm not talking about newsletter, plain email. No. I'm talking about curating content that your audience or your customer can deliver to their customers. This is an example of one of our new newsletters that the whole idea is how we can serve them and make it easier so they can consume it. As soon as they click, you know they like the content. As soon as they engage with it, you have a survey information about them. Now I know who likes makeup versus who likes guns versus who likes computers versus who likes to travel and all that. My friend, the idea is that we are leading our customers to the correct solution. And my goal for today is that I can help you. So if you scan that QR code, you can get a free copy of our latest book, The Tech Leadership Code. 12 qualities for visionary leaders. We are in the business of leading our customers to the correct solution. I want to open it now so we can have some conversation, questions before we finish. Any questions? Yes.
Going. Hello. Testing. Okay.
Yeah.
So you touched on it a little bit before, but I'm curious as to your thoughts on how to incorporate personalization into maybe some of the upper funnel marketing and more awareness, maybe traditional out of home tactics, and whether or not you think that's necessary if once we do get them further down the funnel, that's where we start the personalization.
Okay. So tactics to be able to personalize top of the funnel so you can start learning more as it goes down. One of the mistakes that I've seen that people do is that when they try to get a customer to start serving them, and I'm talking about customer, anyone that want to consume whatever you create or what your customer create, they want to know everything they want. And that is too much. Think about it this way. I remember that I was a little crazy when I proposed to my wife because we had probably like a month of dating. And I said, hey, you're out of the market. I love you. Let's see if this works. And if it doesn't work, and literally, I took one of the rings that I had and I gave it to her. It's like, here it is. I'm serious. Okay. But that's not the way that we probably interact with customers. We need to start slowly. Hey, I have something for you. Let's say, what is your business and what do you deliver? Cirque du Soleil? Okay. We should talk because I was working with you guys in Canada. But to give you an example of that, let's say that you have a show, and that show is for here in Vegas. So people need to want to come to Vegas versus I want to go to Orlando, that there's also a Cirque du Soleil. But the first thing is like, do you like shows versus do you like football? So you see, you start capturing different information. And the other thing that you can do is that you can start advertising in other people's platforms so you can see their engagement to see if they get the first tick. What will that be? Let's say, do you like to learn more about how to have a romantic holiday or a romantic weekend in Vegas? Does that have to do exactly with Cirque du Soleil? No. But what happened? A guy alone not gonna come to Cirque du Soleil. And the guys that are here, tell me, are we gonna come alone to Cirque du Soleil and to Vegas? I don't think so. We're gonna come to a football game, but we're not gonna come to Cirque du Soleil. But if the wife actually say, you know, we should take a time to go to see this. So you see, you start learning the profile of what they are and leveraging your platforms. In your case, are you offering anything that they can consume before they actually come to the show? Like, is there some clips from previous shows that they can go? So in that way, you start little by little bringing them to try to create that profile. And now you own the data. That's the key. So thank you very much. I'm going to be here. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you so much, Carlos. Carlos, you feel free to stay on stage if you like, because Carlos is going to talk against. You're not done with him. I'm already smarter for just coming in here today. I don't know about the rest of you.